Good afternoon to all the participants. Dr. Surjit Devnath sir is now with us. Sir, shall we start? Hello. Uh, am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Okay. So I welcome you back on the 5 days online workshop for the session three. And the session three will be taken by Dr. Surjit Devnath sir. Good afternoon, sir. Uh, We'll start with a brief introduction. Dr. Devnath is currently the head of Department of Medical Laboratory Technology, Women's Polytechnic, Tripura, with more than 13 years of experience in biomedical research and high-level teaching. Dr. Devnath participated in various academic work in institutions of Germany, Denmark, and Hong Kong, besides in premier Indian labs such as AIMS, IIT Kharagpur, and IIT Guwahati, and NBPGR. Dr. Devnath is the recipient of Young Scientists Award from different agencies, that is DBT, DST, and CSIR. He's also the recipient of Tata Trust grant for CME course in Royal College Pathologists, London. He's also the reviewer of several SCI and Scopus Index journals published by Elsevier Springer and Biomedical Central. Along with regular academic activities, he is also engaged with several biotechnology companies in northern and western India as a consultant. He has conducted various workshops and talks and has acted as a session chair in international conferences sponsored by national and international academic agencies. He has delivered numerous invited talks in national and international academic gatherings, and currently he's guiding a group of international students for their internship from Russia, Turkey, and Western African countries. Dr. Devnath has filed two patents in the year 2020 and 2021 in India on biotechnology. So I welcome Dr. Devnath, sir, for the third session, which is on the applications of uh, machine learning in biomedical research, and specifically on vaccine development against the pandemic. Uh, so over to you. Okay, there has been a technical glitch from Devnath sir's end. He will join us shortly.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, that's
Your voice is not audible, sir.
now no, the thing is
Uh,
uh, what is here?
yes, sir. But sir, the voice is cracking, sir. Maybe there's a technical problem.
You are saying the band and not the way we should. Let's see what exactly happens. Madam, would you please let me know whether light is it? Madam, the
No,
visible?
sir. Uh, no, sir.
I have shared my screen. Still, it is visible. It's not visible, madam.
No, sir. If any participant could respond, is it visible to any of the participants?
Not yet.
No, audio is be somewhat interrupting, ma'am, and video is also not. PPT is also not to be shared, yet to not share.
Okay, okay, sir. Uh, there is some technical problem from Devnath sir's end, and we are trying to fix it. Please be patient with us.
Okay. So is the this thing screen visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right away I will get in. Hmm. Na, so what we'll do is, I'm thankful to Atal FDP, the concept where it has given an excellent platform for interdisciplinary kind of discussions and all. I'm also thankful to the coordinators for giving me the opportunity to discuss. However, I'll not talk about classical things of parallel algorithm that I'm sure you have already been through in all these days. Rather, I'll would like to discuss about some case studies. One such case study is regarding a diagnosis of cancer and how computer intelligence would help us for better patient care. I belong to the fraternity of biomedical sciences and technology, where we work in this particular kind of direction, but we also use a lot of computational concepts rather than the parallel algorithms as such, although we are not working, but we understand that there is huge scope of this parallel algorithms and computational process, where there is a huge time advantage, because the where a significant amount of data can be processed concurrently with multiple machines, and therefore there is the advantage of time, and it will result into a very quick response in multiple applications where a large amount of big data is being handled for biomedical applications. One such application is cancer diagnostics. However, in this discussion, we shall talk about the conventional applications of computer science in cancer diagnostics, which is more of rather than parallel, it's more of the regular computing or sequential computing, as you all know. However, there is an important point that is there any ability, is there any possibility that we design this particular applications into parallel algorithms, so that we get an advantage of time, as you all know, rather doing the calculations individually. If we can do these calculations in a concurrent way and then able to combine all the individual results all together by a particular processor, and then eventually what will happen is in a very quick time we can able to handle a lot of data analysis. So that is there. But before that, there are one more important aspect, that is the inherent what we call sequentiality. So we shall see a particular example during our hands-on, and we will try to see that if there are possibility that we can what we call refabricate this sequential process into parallel process. So it will be a task of the computer scientists who are present today as participants to do sufficient amount of brainstorming to how use parallel algorithms for specific tasks relevant to biomedical field. Okay, I hope I am audible, madam.
Yes,
And
sir.
as if we see in recent times, from 1992 to 2016, we will see that there has been a lot of interest in machine learning in all spheres of technology, not only in computer science but in even finance, then in biomedical engineering, and so many and so on. Now, why this has been, why there has been a rapid increase in machine learning technologies, that is application of machine learning technologies in various fields of science and technology, because the main aspect is that the machine is much more cheaper than the intelligence. In biomedical sciences, it is also very relevant here. It takes a lot of time as well as skill to develop certain skill sets in biomedicine, medical, healthcare, and all such things. So what will happen if we can automate some processes which are repeatable in themselves? So if we can automate those processes and eventually find out a way to reduce the cost of human intelligence, so what will happen? There will be a significant advancement in the technology, and it will become cheaper. Today, detection of cancer and then therapeutics against cancer has become much more affordable than it was been there like 5 years back. So we shall see what exactly has happened in this particular domain. Although the use of parallel computing directly into biomedicine is not in full scale, but there are possibilities that the sequential algorithm that we use today, it can be once again rebuilt by some of you computer science specialists, so that it becomes much more affordable and it becomes much more quick. But while saying so, one more important aspect is that there are cases where inherent sequentiality problems are there. You cannot just go on concurrently solving certain kind of tasks if a particular kind of step is not yet executed. So, for example, like if we say that if you have divided your a problem into 4 different tasks, and if task 1 is not complete, you cannot enter into the loop of task 2. So eventually what will happen is, if you are also having, this is a particular problem in biomedicine. I'll also talk about that. So what is the some cases where this problem still exists. So we anticipate that parallel algorithm will be a blockbuster thing, but many a times we find that the direct this thing is not possible due to inherent what do you call sequentiality thing which is there. Until and unless a particular sample is processed, we cannot go to the next sample. And therefore some problems are still there. Anyway, there is a huge scope if we embrace these technologies and the applications. We are very much sure that in coming days computer scientists like you will definitely able to handle much more complicated problems using parallel algorithms. So this is the case of big data, where biological sciences are also producing a lot of data. So all of you must have heard about genomics and proteomics. These are two terminologies where what we are trying to do is we are trying to explore all the genetic information that is there in an individual. So the genetic information is such that it is kind of a written program which is there inside every cell of a living body, and which ultimately dictates that how a particular kind of organism will look like, how the particular organism will behave, and what will be its character, how long it will live, and all such things. Everything is written in the genes, in a four quadruplet code, I would say. Now, for example, in machine there are zeros and ones, strings of zeros and ones. But in DNA, that is in genes, there are 4 different codes: digit A, digit G, digit T, and digit C. These are all chemicals, but these are digitally represented as ATGC. So what exactly happens is, once we try to explore the genetic makeup of certain individual, okay, for example, a patient who's having a certain kind of cancer. So in order to detect the cancer, if you can do the genomic analysis, your detection will be very, very precise. So we shall see these kind of examples today. I hope madam has already received the tools that I have shared, madam, for the little hands-on, so that our participants do not get bored. Madam, have you received the email in the morning that I have sent? Coordinator, madam, am I audible? Hello. I'm still in the meeting. lost. Anybody? We are still connected. Uh, Madam, just switch on your mic, and if anybody can tell me whether we are still connected or not.
Yes, yes, there is a connection.
Okay, okay, fine. So, madam, have you received the email with the tools that we anticipate to use for the hands-on, so that our participants still stick to the session? Anyway, so I hope she will definitely have
Yeah.
it. So, what has happened? Okay, fine then. So,
Sir,
what has
is
happened is,
say something? I think missed it.
one email I have sent you, madam, in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
If you have you found it?
I might have missed it. I'll check it.
Or in your spam? I don't
I'll
think it
check.
will be in the spam. So
I'll
what
check.
has exactly happened is, okay, if you find it, just let me know once. So what has
Sure,
happened?
sure.
These
I'll
are the
tell you.
huge amount of data that are being generated every day, and if there is a parallel aspect of it where we can able to eventually, what you call, analyze a lot of data simultaneously and eventually come up with a particular kind of solution by concurrently. So it will definitely is a big boon. As I have said, that these kind of data are being generated by mainly three kinds of technology. One is the data that is being generated in social media kind of thing, and then one more is in genomics, the thing that we are interested in, and there are some more aspects where a lot of big data is being generated every day, and there is a desperate need of this kind of technology where you can do your calculations concurrently, eventually leading to a huge time advantage. Okay, so it is there. So let us see what exactly happens these days, how exactly cancer diagnosis takes place today, and what is the possible um, mm, technologies that will be developed in coming days by using computational tools. So, madam, if you have received the mail, there will be some links of videos. So, if you have found it, would you please share the first video so that our participants will have an idea that what exactly happens in cancer diagnosis today, and tomorrow where we can go to, and what will be the possibility tomorrow, so that they'll also have an idea that how computational tools would help. So in that video we shall able to see what exactly happens today. What exactly happens today is like a particular kind of tissue sample has been collected from a tissue by a process called biopsy, and then it is made into a slide which would be visible in order to see what is the changes of the tissue that has been taken place due to the cancer. Okay, and then what exactly happens is then the doctor will diagnose on the basis of the image or in the basis of the biopsy whether the patient has entered into a kind of a stage where cancer becomes malignant. That means something where it causes an irreversible damage. Okay, so this is the technology today. So many a times what happens is there are compromises in the quality. Means what happens? There are some misdiagnosis. Okay, so now this misdiagnosis happens due to some limitations of human skill. Okay. There are possibility that will get reduced. Now this is the of using computational technologies to reduce the number of false positives as well as reduce the number of false negatives, isn't it? So in that kind of technology, what exactly they do, we generally call them image informatics, where a particular kind of tissue is being taken and then looked under a microscope for a particular kind of development that has happened in the tissue. So today, what computational technologies has done is they are doing the image processing to a significant extent, so that they are trying to find out some region of interest in the whole slide, and then try to develop a training set out of it in order to have some experience. Machine learning is equivalent to human learning, where it tries to develop an idea that what exactly a cancer tissue looks like and how it is different from normal tissue. Okay, so while doing so, three kinds of images are can be useful. One is some structural imaging, and then some kind of functional imaging, and later on some kind of optical, which are some detailed study of the tissue by optical imaging. So by combining all these kinds of intelligence, eventually there is a possibility that you end up with a technology or kind of algorithm which is sequentially only, but will help you to find out the extent of cancer that has been developed in a person very rapidly. Okay, but there are some disadvantage of this particular kind of technology. So we'll come to this point. So till now it has been seen that machine intelligence, all kinds of possible algorithms has been used. So out of all these algorithms, artificial neural network technology has given tremendous result in most of the kinds of different kinds of cancers that has been detected. So these detections were very less error prone. Errors were there. There were very rapid diagnosis also, but these were not foolproof. So in order to explain this, what exactly happened is there are some very good research that has come out recently during 2020. For example, this. Okay. Now this research talks about a kind of technology where they are using convolutional neural network to artificially estimate by a back propagation that how long a patient will survive on the basis of the biopsy that has been taken from his brain cancer. Okay, it has been reported in a very reputed journal and with very good citations as well, where they have developed a technology where they can precisely identify by looking at a biopsy image that how long eventually the patient will survive. Okay. Now they have done one more aspect of it. So this is kind of a brain cancer, and they have in one way they have used only the biopsy, tissue biopsy, that is brain cancer biopsy, and in another aspect what they have done is they have used genomics. Okay, as I have said you that genomics is nothing but decoding the genes that are present in each and every human cell, which also contains the information that at which particular age a patient will get a certain kind of disease. Okay, for example, let me tell you what is the skin color of a person, what will be the height of the person, what will be the pattern of his hair. Everything is written in the gene. Similarly, which kind of disease a particular person is predisposed, that is also being recorded in the codes. But the problem is that we have not yet developed the whole technology to decode or decipher all the information present in the DNA or the genes. Only the like 10% of the gene has only been decoded, and from 10% also we have learned a lot of things. So I'll show you what. Okay, now the kind of technology that these persons have used is looks like this, where there are several hidden layers and several inbuilt small programs that runs, and eventually they finds out a particular kind of solution on the background information that they get, or on the basic what we call network is receiving. So it is something like this. For example, these four or the six images are the images which gives the network an idea that what exactly digit it tries to find. So what happens is this kind of technology, what they do is on the basis of the prior idea, they'll try to figure out the problem set, and they'll try to figure out what is the solution, what is the perspective solution of a given set of problems. For example, if a similar kind of image is given to it, the technology will find it out, okay, this particular slide looks like the digit 8. So many a times what will happen is it will not able to differentiate between digit 8 and digit 0 because both of them will look like similarly. Okay, but the technologies are day by day increasing and increasing it in its extent, and therefore these kind of errors are getting minimized day by day. But there is inherent possibility of errors. Okay, mainly in diagnosis, mainly in biomedicine, where you cannot take any chance, because what happens if your results are fuzzy, that means your machine is not able to tell you whether the person has already been infected with a malignant cancer or it is a benign cancer which can be operated and the patient will be fine. So there are two kinds of cancer. One is benign, which you will get operated and there will be no problem with this kind of cancer, and eventually the patient will survive. But one more kind of cancer is malignant, where you cannot able to do the operation because it has been spreaded into multiple tissues. Okay, so in those cases what will happen, that also you need to understand. Okay, so what these people have done is, the previous group of workers, they have added a genomics part to it. Okay, so let me tell you what genomics part is and how in future this parallel algorithm technology can help to get rid of many problems of humankind. So this is an example where this group of people have found out that, just hold on, that there is a gene which is called IDH gene which results into brain cancer. Okay, so what these people have done is they have combined image informatics as well as the genomics, and therefore their prediction has become tremendous or unprecedented that the medical fraternity has ever seen. The precision of the diagnosis, how long a patient will survive, was so good that it has been, the technology has been monetized instantly by some biomedical device companies, where they will be taking a certain kind of biopsy from brain and then analyze it along with genomics. They will also try to figure out what has gone wrong in the genome or the DNA of the patient. So okay, now there are some benefits of this kind of technology, where this particular slide talks about neural network technology, which is very old one, but there are plenty of benefits as well. There are some limitations of assumptions, and the predictions have some limitations, but instead of that there are several benefits which outnumber the limitations, and therefore this technology has been embraced by biomedical fraternity quite significantly. Okay, now this is the slide. If you can see, the pink color bar chart gives the results where they have combined both genomics as well as convolutional neural network technology of image processing. If only image processing has been used, the results are good, but not as good as the combined technology. Okay, so there is direct indication that if we combine multiple technologies, there will be huge scope for biomedical fraternity to devise a strategy for better patient care and better human care. So in this context, there are several other technologies that has been embraced by biomedical fraternity. For example, decision trees. Now decision trees are also being used for cancer diagnosis. If I give you a example, you will find out, because in my lab we are extensively working towards understand the process of metastasis in breast tissue cancer. So we will do a little hands-on that how genomics is giving excellent opportunity by combining computer science to predict possibility of a disease. Now, in this particular case, it's a very common kind of method that clinicians use for detection of breast cancer. If there is a physical examination and if the lump is not detected, so the self examination is proposed after 1 month. Now, if any kind of lump is detected, so what will happen? The patient should be told to take one mammogram. Now, mammogram is nothing but again an image informatics only, where a gross abnormality of a tissue can be seen by an ultrasonograph. Okay, so mammograph is nothing but an ultrasonography of a particular mammary gland, which will reveal if there are some lump. Now, this lump you cannot detect whether this lump is a malignant lump or a localized, that is non-malignant lump. Anyway, so what will happen is you need to have a biopsy if the lump is there. If no lump is detected, there is no biopsy. So here again, on the basis of the size also of the lump, this particular decision will be taken, because biopsy is not very easy task to do, because the tissue should be cut opened and from the tissue the sample will be collected and so on. Very complicated process. So what happens is, if the idea could be to overcome this particular biopsy. Is there any method by using image informatics and genomics without the biopsy, can you able to this thing, what do you call is overcome the need of repeated biopsy? Anyway, so what exactly happens is, if the biopsy samples are negative, then there is no this thing, and non-malignant cyst. Now, when we talk about cyst is a localized inflammation or something which you can get operated and you will be okay. Okay. But if a lump is detected and is malignant, okay, but after multiple analysis and so on, then lumpectomy should be there. The lump should be removed. Many a times the whole tissue should be removed. So I'll be sharing with you a particular case study where the whole tissue has been removed because of a prediction. Not the lump was not detected, but before that only, as a precaution, the patient has underwent a complete removal of the tissue, so that there is no chance of getting breast cancer at all. So that is an extreme case where we'll talk about this. And I suppose that there are huge scope of computer science for this kind of technology to develop. So now, why exactly the future medicine will look like? In future medicine, it will be customized, as you all know. Previously, telecommunication was public, and now it is customized. You don't see public telephone anymore. Instead of that, you see a personalized mobile phone. Similarly, this medicine of the future is also become personalized. Okay, the need for personalization is also very rampant these days after the pandemic. So previously, what has happened is, I was supposed to talk about this thing, the vaccine design against COVID, but I thought that why not give it this thing, because that is highly relevant, and if possibility is there, we'll talk about vaccines and those things, how computational science is giving huge scope for rapid vaccine design. We shall be talking in coming days, and how there could be huge scope for computer scientists to apply parallel algorithm in that particular domain also, cancer diagnosis and vaccine design. Highly recommended fields for using high-end, high-throughput computation, if you say. So that excellent solutions can be brought together. Anyway, so previously what has happened, a single medicine would have fit everybody, but the result were varied. For somebody, there would have been excellent this thing, what do you call, result, but in some case, the results are not very good, because every individual has different or specific genetic structure, and nobody is exactly the same like other, so there are varied response. Now in next coming days, what will happen is there will be a custom made what do you call, medicine. The medicine will be custom everybody, so that everybody gets superior particular kind of therapy, be it viruses like COVID
be it diagnosis and cancer. Okay, so today also some kind of personalization is there. You can say that personalization is completely not there. Personalization is there. For example, let me tell you, for example, if somebody is having some kind of fever, now if the body weight of the patient is low, the paracetamol dosage also reduces. So this is certain kind of personalization, but we are talking about a high end personalization where a completely new therapy will be given so that instant relief will be achieved. Anyway, these are distant dreams. So again, madam, if you have received the email, uh, we'll have some video these things so that it becomes a little more interactive. Otherwise, post launch sessions are very challenging for participants as well as speakers.
So madam, have you received the email, or I once again resend the email?
एक बार सर्च करके देखिए मेरा वाला ईमेल से, अगर आपको मिला हो तो बहुत बढ़िया है.
Sir, I haven't received any email.
Okay, okay. So
Can you send it, resend it so that I can share it with the
हाँ
participants?
चलिए वही करेंगे. ठीक ठीक एकदम ठीक. I thought that it was already went. Okay, I'll stop sharing. I'll just resend to you, madam. नहीं मैडम, हमने तो आपको सेंड कर दिया है ऑलरेडी. हाँ प्रगति.
Yes, can you
मैडम आप
speak up
सर्च
the
कीजिए.
email ID?
Nanish, yes, yes,
आपका-
right. I have sent it. I have sent it in pragati@manit.ac.in.
I will check. Again, I will check.
मैडम आप
the
सर्च
spam folder.
कीजिए.
Yes, yes.
हाँ मैडम आप सर्च कीजिए, रिसोर्सेस एंड टूल्स बोल के सर्च कीजिए.
Okay, okay.
In your search bar, please search resources and tools. I'm
Okay,
sure you will
okay,
get it.
okay, okay. Yeah, received. Actually, it went into, I don't know why. Huh.
Okay.
I have received. I will
So,
share it with the participant.
No, not right away. Madam,
Okay.
there are some video links. Those video
Yeah.
links you just click
Yes.
on. Once the video starts, you share the screen, your screen, and make it mute so that while the video will run, I shall speak, and they'll able
Acha,
to have some
okay.
idea what exactly happens in cancer
Acha, you
diagnostics.
want me to share the screen?
From your
With the
side,
video.
yes, right.
Okay.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
fine.
from your side.
So
Although we are not discussing hardcore computer science, but I'm sure you will have some kind of motivation so that how better you can prepare your algorithms towards the desperate need of human being, that is getting treated swiftly. And what are the two aspects is, one is image informatics, which is already established due to active participations of computer science in biomedicine, and there has been very excellent results that I have already shared. But the new domain, which is genomics, is yet to be completely this thing rampant by computer scientists, and there is a desperate need that more and more computer scientists work towards that. In genomics, what happens is a huge amount of data is being generated by what we called as high throughput gene sequencing, or we also call it high throughput sequencing technologies or real time sequencing. So in those cases, what exactly happens is we generate a lot of data, and many a times the data are also having a lot of noise, because बहुत सारा gene एक साथ sequence हो जाता है, so it becomes very difficult to find out a particular kind of gene. For that, we use a lot of boots kind of technology, and then a lot of like various kinds of algorithms like UPGMA, so on. Now, in those cases, what happens is there are certain limitations because initially we used to sequence small part of the genome, not the whole genome of a whole story altogether. It's a huge amount of data. So there, if this parallel computing can be used, although there will be a problem of huge cost because data analysis will become much more costly because you will be running multiple CPUs altogether. Like something like Bitcoin mining is taking place. No, everybody knows about it. So in Bitcoin mining, what happens? Everybody is using some kind of a computational power of his and her, isn't it? So eventually, a large amount of data is being processed simultaneously. But in genomics also, some kind of this kind of technology, blockchain and this and that, if are used, there will be a rapid shift how we handle genomic data today. Madam, if the link you have received, please share the first link, madam, right? Is it the first link, madam? फर्स्ट वाला लिंक शायद ये नहीं है मैडम, थोड़ा एक बार देखिए तो। हाँ, एक वीडियो 1 मैडम, हाँ देखिए एक बार वीडियो 1 में क्या दिखाता है। इट इज ओनली दिस। Okay, now this video I did not anticipate it to for this. Anyway, this video will show you a parallel synthesis. Okay, parallel chemistry, like parallel computing, how parallel synthesis is done today. Okay, this is also a part of my talk. Anyway, now here what happens is the scientists have developed a particular kind of protein which is self-assembling. So okay, if you can see the proteins, what it is doing is it is self-assembling into a fiber. It was a very tiny protein initially, but later on, due to its inherent chemistry, what has happened is it is continuously assembling itself without any exterior force, and thereby making it into a scaffold. Okay. Video stuck हो गया है मैडम, देखिए तो एक बार। So in this what happens is after self-assembly, okay, after self-assembly a complete network of or a mesh of proteins is being formed which is anti-parallel sheets of proteins. So what is the application? The application is huge. They can be used for blood vessel production in those cases where there is a heart blockage. You just inject a single monomer in a small injection and rapidly a complete blood vessel will be generated. Okay, the whole thing is a conceptual thing, but very significant results have been received by Indian scientists where parallel synthesis has been resulted and given excellent results. इसको अभी ये कर दीजिए मैडम। So this I wanted to share to make you understand that how parallel synthesis can be done. Madam, अभी इसको this unshare कर दीजिए. So madam, now please go to the next video. The second video, since you are sharing the screen, we will do it all in a go, and later on we will discuss again. So in that video, we wanted to show you that no, this is not my slide. There will be a second link.
One second, I'll
no problem.
some other
So
videos
I understood.
started.
So what has happened in the video that I would have shared it in the last. Understand that along computing parallel this is also being tried by science. So that क्या होगा वो again rapidity वो जो time advantage का है, the time and advantage that is there in parallel computing and parallel sequencing. So that is again there. So क्या होगा we'll just inject a particular monomer inside the body, and these particular monomer, a small fragment or a tiny fragment of a protein will act as a nanobot or kind of a robot. It will sequentially add on monomers to make a huge network of proteins. And this particular kind of technology, if developed completely, so there will be huge scope in biomedicine also. So I just wanted to show you the parallelism between biomedicine applications and your computational task, where a large task or a problem has been broken down into small part, and then eventually you try to figure out the result by using different CPUs by a shared kind of this thing. Again, there is a problem, as I have said, the inherent sequentiality that all of you are aware of. In our case also, for example, let me give you one more relevant example. जैसे कि मतलब बहुत सारा population को एक साथ RT-PCR करना है, okay? So RT-PCR is again a genomic thing, genomic problem, where everybody will give some sample, and from that sample the RNA will be sequenced, okay? So we can do it in high throughput, मतलब बहुत सारा sample एक साथ collect किया और बहुत जल्दी, जैसे कि एक 24 hours, after the 24 hours we can give you the result whether you are RT-PCR positive or negative. But the thing is, we have to individually process each and every nasal sample. आपके नाक से जो लिया जाएगा उसको हम individually ही process कर पाएंगे. If at all we use some robotic arm and high throughput robotic stuff, instead of the fact we also have, there is an inherent, as I have said, sequentiality problem. एक बार sample process हो जाए, उसका analysis जो है हम rather than sequentially parallelly हम कर सकेंगे. So क्या होगा, माने there is a kind of a limitation that how fast we can go even after putting your parallel computation in every sphere of like life. Okay, so we'll coming to the genomics thing, that what exactly genomics is, so that you can also understand. So madam, please play on the video. This video has been produced by an organization. Now this is the biopsy sample, okay? Usually this is the tissue sample where the person is suspecting some kind of tumor. Now from this tumor, you will take a little sample and put it into a slide, okay, to observe under a microscope. Now this is a complete biomedical pipeline that we will do in our lab. It has nothing to do with you. Now you have to do something with this particular image. I will give you n number of images, and from this n number of images you will find out where are the region of interest, how one image is different from the other, and how I will want you to quantify that. And then do the image processing thing for me. Okay, so in that case what happens is, these are the genomes, okay? The green color thread you can see, it is also there in that particular tissue. जहाँ से हमने biopsy का sample लिया वहीं पे ये भी है. Now it is nothing but a polymer, kind of plastic polymer is there, no? Now this is the polymer. This is how exactly it looks like, okay? Now it is made up of 4 different digits. Instead of zeros and 1, it has been produced from A, T, G and C. These are all nothing but chemicals only. Now these chemicals with different combinations, they generate the whole loop. If you can see, there is a whole thread, no? Now this is nothing but the DNA that is there. Oh, yeah. If you can see it, A, T, G, C, A, C. Can you see? These are repeating like 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, like this only. So since there are 4 different digits, so there is a huge scope that we can code more precise things in a very limited space instead of zeros and ones. जैसे कि आपको अगर ASCII में A टाइप करना है तो बहुत लंबा आपको कोड लिखना पड़ता है zeros and ones का. तो यहाँ पे आपको comparatively less लिखना पड़ेगा because there are 4 different digits instead of using only. मैम क्लोज कर दीजिए इसको. Instead of using zeros and 1, you are using 4 different codes, and therefore your codes become highly this thing what you call is responsive and very good, isn't it? Having the flexibility of using 4 different digits using 2, therefore your string size will So multiple applications are there. So here we try to show you that today we are not today we are only using the image part. We are taking the tissue, putting it under a microscope, and we will try to figure out whether the tissue has become malignant cancer or a benign cancer, like localized cyst, which is a more well-known terminology for localized cancer. We call it cyst. The cyst can be removed by a simple operation, but you cannot be assured that your malignant cancer can be removed by operation. Okay, so how do we differentiate? Now this is the problem, and how rapidly we can detect. This is also again is the case of rapidity, as I have said. So is there one more video, madam? एक बार देखिए please, if there is one more YouTube link. So we are talking about personalization. So many things we have to talk on. Madam, if you please see if there is one more video. Let me see, what is this? Okay, great. Okay, we were also talking about personalization, isn't it? Personalization मतलब क्या? मतलब to detect in a very certain way, in a very precise way. So this is a very good example of biomedical department that we use every time. So it will give you some kind of insight also. Now here this is the picture of a microscope where each and every cell can be seen. The microscope is called fluorescent microscope. उससे fluorescent जो है वो ray निकलता है. So here you can see two types of cell, one pink and one green. Can you see? The green color cells are the cells where something wrong is going on. They are developing into cancerous cell. जो cancer जो है एक single cell से शुरू होता है, उसके बाद ये पूरा body में फैलता है, ठीक है? Now these people are trying to make one kind of directed medicine which will only kill this particular green color cell. थोड़ा आगे जाइए मैडम, आई एम वेरी सॉरी, थोड़ा सा आगे जाइए मैडम, थोड़ा सा आगे, सो दैट और एक बार ये लोग देख लेंगे. थोड़ा सा आगे जाइएगा, मतलब हाँ ठीक. हाँ यहाँ पे देखिए. So what happens is we have a technology so that you can differentially visualize which is cancerous and which is non-cancer. These are real cells. This is not a movie or not a animation. The afterwards animation will start. Now what will happen is due to fluorescent technology, fluorescent tag, we can differentiate which cell is cancerous. The blue color cells, not the pink color. Blue color cells because the DNA has been rapidly damaged and therefore they have initiated the process of cancer. ठीक है, तो अभी हम का ये जो डिपार्टमेंट है मोनाश यूनिवर्सिटी ऑस्ट्रेलिया, दे आर ट्राइंग टू डिवाइस ए मेडिसिन व्हिच विल ओनली किल दिस पर्टिकुलर सेल, नॉट द अदर गुड सेल्स. ठीक है, सो दिस इज कॉल्ड पर्सनलाइजेशन. So this kind of targeting के लिए, this kind of molecular targeting के लिए, to find out where exactly the cancerous cell is, we need high throughput sequencing as well as high throughput computation also. Okay, which the sequential conventional computation cannot give. We shall see with a hands-on why there is a desperate need of this kind of technology that you are working on. I am not working on parallel computing, but you people are working on. I'll just giving you a kind of problem that exists. So what is happening is, if you can see, the medicine is getting delivered to the nucleus of the cell. Nucleus मतलब क्या? Like the motherboard. Each and every cell acts like a kind of computer where there is a motherboard which we call nucleus, जहाँ पे DNA रहता है. ठीक है, ये जो medicine है वो अभी enter कर रहा है DNA में. ठीक है, now these are all predictions. Now after reaching the nucleus, a particular target it should reach. Before that it should not get brushed. ये medicine जो है अंदर में है, इसके ऊपर एक लिपिड का कोटिंग है. लिपिड का कोटिंग मतलब आपका जो कैप्सूल में रहता है ऐसा. सो अभी ये मेडिसिन रिलीज हो रहा है. ठीक है, ये मेडिसिन रिलीज किधर हो रहा है? न्यूक्लियस में हो रहा है. किसका न्यूक्लियस में? कैंसर वाला सेल का न्यूक्लियस में. अभी देखिए ये पर्टिकुलर कैंसर वाला सेल डिस्ट्रॉय होगा बाय अ प्रोसेस कॉल्ड एपोप्टोसिस. ओके, नो व्हाट हैज हैपेंड? a particular cell has been destroyed, not the rest of the things. So what has happened? There has been a targeted drug delivery. ठीक है, it's a complete biomedical problem, not of computer science, but I'm sharing with you because in order to make you understand that हमको यहाँ पे जाना है, but we have not been there. So what is the existing technology today? You give a chemotherapy. ठीक है, now this terminology I am sure you are aware of. both are aware of, isn't it? In chemotherapy, what happens? Rapid, what do you call it? Shall I say, क्या बोलते हैं इसको, allergy, or there is a rapid side effect. So a person who is suffering from a malignant cancer, which cannot get operated, operation करके उसको फायदा नहीं है. In that case, he or she should get a particular kind of systemic therapy. Systemic therapy मतलब क्या? जो पूरा body को देना पड़ेगा. Either it could be a ray of a certain radioactive ions, or it could be a medicine which will try to kill all the cells, good or bad, indeterminately. ठीक है, the degree of targeting is not very good today. So क्या होगा, if you would see that the person is getting a medicine for like skin cancer, but his or her hairs are falling or teeth are falling, he is having no immunity. So these are all associated things which are the drawbacks of existing chemotherapy. So the video हमने आपको दिखाया, that is a future goal. To reach that goal, biology alone cannot sustain, cannot do it. That is for sure. Biotechnology all by itself cannot handle this huge amount of task that is to be done. So there should be a combinatorial approach where you will use your computational tools, I will use my understanding of molecular basics, and by combinatorial approach we can able to handle this kind of big problem to targeting a particular cell. ये अगर अचीव हो गया, then only your personalized medicine का ड्रीम भी जो है अचीवेबल होगा. For today also, if you can see, today everybody has taken COVID vaccine, isn't it? 2 dosage. But once the Omicron has come, all your vaccines are of no use, isn't it? So once Omicron has come, you have to take one more kind of jab. That also not the existing jab, a different kind of molecular medicine you should take. Now this is the need of this thing, what do you call, personalization in medicine that is required. In today's case, it is there. Like after 10 years, the scenario will be much more worse, isn't it? N number of viruses will be there, and you are like आपको हर दिन एक vaccine लेना पड़ेगा, which is not possible. Anyway, so we'll go to this thing now. So since madam has shared her this thing, I'll okay, I'll go to my discussion and then I'll come back again and I'll once again bother madam to do the hands-on for us. So I'll share my screen and go to the theory part where okay. So these are the things, as I have said, that these people have used image informatics as well as genomics, and therefore they have received excellent results, okay, which is shown in this pink color bar chart, which is having very good response, okay. With certainty they have found out how long a patient will survive if he or she has got a brain cancer, ठीक है. वो भी उसका क्या किया, बायोप्सी निकाला और फिर जीनोमिक्स भी किया. तो इज देयर वे आउट दैट बायोप्सी नहीं निकालना पड़े, दैट वाज द माने इज वन ऑफ इम्पोर्टेंट गोल. चलिए, तो okay, now this is the pipeline which we use for whole genome sequencing, okay. So there are huge tasks in whole genome sequencing. In whole genome sequencing, what is happened, the genomic DNA that is present inside the cell, जैसे हमने आपको वीडियो में दिखाया, उसको निकालना पड़ेगा. निकालने के बाद उसका सीक्वेंसिंग करेंगे. सीक्वेंसिंग मतलब ATGC, this repeated kind of chemicals we have to find out what is the read of the DNA. Now in this case what will happen, because it's a huge amount of task, we will break it down into small parts. अगर आपको दिख रहा है एक round thread जैसा दिख रहा है, which is the whole genome. So we have divided into small parts by a kind of thing which is called restriction digestion. So restriction digestion करने के बाद उसका small part हो जाएगा. तो एक पार्ट को हम लेके क्या करेंगे, सीक्वेंसिंग करेंगे, ठीक है. उसके बाद पूरा सीक्वेंसिंग को एक साथ जोड़ देंगे. Okay, now this sounds similar, no? So in your case also there is a huge task. You break it down into small parts individually in a sequential manner. So is there a possibility that we use your concepts here? So there is a definitely a definite possibility, is it? Now this is all on the basis of excitement. We will find out adenosine जो है इसका एक particular kind of emission spectra होता है. So it is kind of a biophysics terminology. Each and every chemical is having a particular kind of lambda max or we shall call it excitement criteria. अगर उसमें आप हाई एनर्जी फोटॉन्स डालेंगे तो उसमें एक वाइब्रेशन होगा, वो वाइब्रेशन को हम रिकॉर्ड कर सकते हैं. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट यू कैन फाइंड आउट वेयर इज ए, वेयर इज टी, वेयर इज जी, वेयर इज सी. Okay, 4 different codes which are there in the DNA. Anyway, so after getting all the reads, there will be some overlapping. Overlapping क्यों होगा बोलिए? क्योंकि आपने जो DNA को काटा है, काटने के टाइम पे क्या होगा? Some amount of data will be shared by more than one fragments. ठीक है? So the task of the computer science primarily is to identify these homologs. ठीक है? After identifying the homologs or the overlapping sequences, then you can once again rebuild the whole sequence. क्या होता है? Let me tell you. Once the black color thread is cutted down, वो जो टुकड़ा है वो किधर गया, एक के बाद एक आया कि नहीं आया, that you cannot control because every reaction is taking place inside a test tube. ठीक है? एक वाटर का एक सोल्यूशन में ये सब रिएक्शन हो रहा है. So you cannot find out कौन सा टुकड़ा मैंने पहले काटा, कौन सा टुकड़ा लास्ट में. ठीक है? वो जो सीक्वेंस है डीएनए का वो ठीक नहीं रहता है. So how you can find out the sequencing, माने which टुकड़ा has come first and which later, by means of this overlapping threads. So first computer science people will write programs so that the overlapping areas can be found out on the basis of the homology. Okay, and then we will connect the dots and the whole genome will be in front of us. Now after the whole genome sequence is there will be some errors, okay, or noise. तो वो noise को भी आपको delete करना है. You have to have a very good program so that it can find out where is the noise. ऐसा कोई sequence है जहाँ पे बहुत सारा A एक साथ आ गया, A like this, or T like this. So is this normal or is this abnormal? That also your program will be finding. Okay, so eventually after that there will be a lot of data which you have to store and then process. So today with a hands-on we shall show you how this genomic data looks like. A small part only we shall show you so that you can understand the extent of the problem. So this is the this wet lab experiment or wet lab pipeline that will be there in biomedical labs, not in computer science. But the data that we will generate, we can share with the computer science people so that they can handle it with care. Okay. Now this is the database where the whole genome sequence data is present. Okay, for all organisms. पूरा organism के लिए आपका जो है वो genomic data जो है, it is present in a dynamic database, which is in very easy to use. Some XML these things are there. By clicking on a link only, you can enter into these huge databases. Now these huge databases are maintained in it is not like cloud, it is some physical existence is there. The servers are present in Maryland, USA, where the headquarters of NIH, that is National Institute of Health, is present. So they host this particular database in the form of a website. So we'll handle this in this database. This is called NCBI database. In that database, all the genomic sequence of all living organisms, including human, is there. ठीक है? So it's a reference genome, reference data, not your data, my data. It is not there. Okay, it's not a Aadhaar card kind of data, everybody's data. No, not that. It is a reference genome जिसको देख के आपको पता चलेगा कि आपका जीनोम में कोई खराबी है कि नहीं है. ठीक है? So again the task of comparison comes where you have to need to use kinds of technologies that you call genetic algorithms and so many other things that you have definitely learned in rest of the days. So here also you are having a reference through which you can compare. जैसे कि we are having a COVID genome, if everything permits, another session we can discuss it. So we are having a reference genome of COVID that has been isolated from Wuhan, China. तो अभी जो ओमिक्रॉन का वेरिएंट है उसके आ गया, इसी में है, इसी डेटाबेस में है. देन वी कैन कंपेयर इट, okay, by using a particular kind of computational tool. These are not distributed computing or parallel computing, these are sequential only, but there are chances that you can re-establish it as a parallel one. So this is the genome sequence database. Now this is the human genome. Okay, so it is the highest amount of the data that is present in that database. We will not use this database today. Human genome we will not explore because it's a huge amount of data. We will use a small part of this data to understand how machine intelligence will help us for disease diagnosis in a very short period of time. Okay? With a case study we shall see. Now this is the whole genome data of a reference human. Okay? Not you, not me, but a reference human where there is no mutation, where everything is correct, everything is precise. Okay, though it was a human genome project was a huge distributed task, wet lab task, मतलब जहाँ पे बहुत सारे reagent chemicals use होता है, distributed task, and where 10 numbers of labs has participated, and eventually they have found out the most precise DNA sequence of human being which is without any mutation, जिसमें कहीं भी कुछ भी म्यूटेशन नहीं है. तो हमारे लिए एडवांटेज क्या हो गया, म्यूटेशन का अगर हमारे पास डेटा है, सो वी कैन कंपेयर इट विद दिस एंड देन वी कैन फाइंड आउट वेयर which particular gene is not working properly. Okay, so we shall come to this. Now this is again a part of the whole genome sequence. We call it BRCA. ठीक है? So please listen carefully. So what happens is BRCA is a gene which is present in the genome. Genome मतलब पूरा book. ठीक है? The whole thing. Gene मतलब उसका एक part, उसका एक page. Now this particular gene is called BRCA gene. Now BRCA gene is a program which is written to control breast cancer in human. ठीक है? तो अगर ये BRCA जीन का जो डेटा है वो अगर करेक्ट है, माने एग्जैक्टली विद द रेफरेंस जीनोम है, सो देयर इज नो चांस ऑफ ए कैंसर. ठीक है? नाउ इफ देयर आर सम म्यूटेशन, सो व्हाट विल हैपन, देयर विल बी इवेंचुअलिटी ऑफ ए कैंसर. नाउ दिस कुड बी malignant or it could be localized also like a cyst. Okay, but this gene has everything to do with breast cancer. ठीक है? So this is a very good example where we have found out a direct relationship from DNA. But many things we have not yet found out where high throughput sequencing, high throughput computation is needed. One such example is human behavior. How can you predict human behavior? एक particular situation में एक human किस तरह से behave करेगा? How can you predict? For that you need to have huge amount of data to be processed, isn't it? So that we have not been there, but these are very small but very good examples where a direct relationship has been established. Previously with IDH gene, where brain cancer has been identified, if there is a mutation of a particular gene, it will lead to this cancer. Now this is again another case. Our case means we work on this particular thing and to figure out what is the genomic abnormality of breast cancer. By genomics, not by क्या बोलते हैं इसको, biopsy, because it's a difficult task, isn't it? So why not initially directly go from genomics so that you can predict whether the person at all will have some kind of cancer or not throughout his or her lifetime. ठीक है? तो we will do a little hands-on by using these tools. Now these links I have shared with madam, so she will again this thing. So what is the objective? The objective is to use a combination of various approaches, image processing, then high throughput computation, then gene sequencing, so that eventually finally what will happen, there will be better outcome of each and every therapy. Okay? So what exactly we do, these are the protocols that we use. A clinical problem, the patient will come with us and we will do all kind of data acquisition. तो यहाँ पे data acquisition सिर्फ digit का नहीं होता है, blood test, then sonography and all kinds of data acquisition. Then there will be a pre-processing. हम उसको sort out करेंगे कौन सा वाला data चाहिए कौन सा वाला नहीं चाहिए. And then there will be some validation, and then interpretation and validation. Ultimately, it operated or only made to do. This kind of decisions we shall do. We shall take on the basis of the prediction. So we will do a little hands-on. मैडम ये दिख रहा है ना स्लाइड में?
So what will happen is this particular what you call is algorithm has been used for using the particular toolbox that we are talking about. In that particular toolbox, this probabilistic classifier method has been used. So here again, if you can see, the predictions are based on the prior experiences. So posterior results, posterior means later on जो result मिलेगा हमको, वो depend करता है क्या चीज पे? Likelihood, data science terminology, or shall I say statistical terminology. Then there is the evidence, and then the prior probability. So on the basis of the prior experience only, what the algorithm will do, it will try to predict the result. ठीक है? So this is called a probabilistic classifier naive Bayes algorithm, on the basis of which the particular toolbox has been developed by a group of computer science people, but we are using it rapidly, randomly, and that is also free of cost. So we will again see, and this is the type of result this particular technology gives, okay, on the basis of whether the patient will have cancer or not. So madam, we will do the hands-on now. I will again request you for your kind coordination.
Yes, please tell.
Madam. So please share your screen.
Okay.
And please click on the first link.
Okay.
मैडम देखिए एक सिमुलेशन लिंक बोल के है, तो उसमें एक लिंक है, वो आप पार्टिसिपेंट्स के साथ भी शेयर कर दीजिए. यू प्लीज शेयर विद द पार्टिसिपेंट्स. इफ दे लाइक, दे विल आल्सो एंटर इनटू द डेटाबेस एंड ट्राई टू प्ले. या राइट मैडम. यस, यू प्लीज शेयर द लिंक विद द पार्टिसिपेंट्स आल्सो. सिमुलेशन 1 देखिए मैडम, एक लिंक होगा.
I'll share with the participants.
ठीक ठीक मैडम. So if they want, they can also do. Otherwise, okay, fine. So this is the database. अच्छा ठीक है, तो कर लीजिए.
Screen is visible, mine, right?
Yes, madam, nicely visible. Thank you, madam.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So what has happened? The HTML text that we have given you, now it is the link for a database which is called NCBI database. ठीक है? Now it is again a distributed effort only. Now it is a database which is curated every now and then, every time, and updated. ठीक है? जैसे कि एक sequence है, तो a particular, for example, during the case of this COVID. So what has happened from Wuhan? Somebody have sequenced the data by using whole genome sequencing and then uploaded in the database. Now database will find out whether there are the sequence is correct or not. Just like that, you cannot deposit data in this particular kind of database, which is free but highly monitored, and there has been no single event of what do you call is website hacking and breach and kind of thing. This has never taken place. It's so good. If you analyze it, you will able to, I think, find out the protecting technology is so good. Nobody has hacked it till now. So what has happened now? This is a database where all kinds of genomic data is present. Now we are sharing with you this particular screen gives you the whole genome sequence of a bacteria. So bacteria जो है वो बहुत ही small होता है. In comparison to human being, it's a like 1 million times smaller. Okay, so its genome is also million times smaller. So it's easy to handle. Otherwise, the human genome, it will take a lot of time to load. Anyway, now this is the genome of a bacteria. So bacteria का तो हम use नहीं करेंगे because we have nothing to do with this bacteria genome. So we will again लिंक. सो मैडम नेक्स्ट जो लिंक है उसको एक बार क्लिक कीजिए. सेशन 2 लिंक कीजिए. This is only to show you this particular screen is just to show you that how a genomic data looks like. हाँ अभी जो है हम सेकेंड वाला, हाँ देखिए सुडोमोनास होल जीनोम लिखा है ना लास्ट में. तो दिस इज द सुडोमोनास, मतलब एक बैक्टीरिया जो है बहुत ही स्मॉल, उसका डीएनए का सीक्वेंस है. तो इसको हम यूज नहीं करेंगे, दूसरा वाला को यूज करेंगे. हाँ
One simulation
हाँ
to be shared.
हाँ यस मैडम श्योर. इसको
Okay,
शेयर भी
I'll
कीजिए और
share.
क्लिक करके एंटर भी कर दीजिए. देखिए होता है. बट यू पीपल क्लिक इट सिक्वेंशियली, नॉट ऑल टुगेदर. तो एक के बाद एक ही हम जाएंगे. हाँ ठीक. सो ओके 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 फाइन. सो वी हैव एंटर्ड इनटू द सेकंड डेटा. नाउ सेकंड डेटा इज फॉर ए जीन कॉल्ड BRCA, ब्रेस्ट कैंसर एसोसिएटेड एंटीजन, माने उसका जो ये है. सो व्हाट इज दिस? दिस इज अ सीक्वेंस ऑफ ए जीन which has taken from the whole genome. बहुत सारा डेटा से एक स्मॉल पार्ट को हमने निकाला है काट के. ठीक है. तो ये जो डेटा है इट रिप्रेजेंट्स द डीएनए प्रेजेंट इन द present in all cells. It is very this thing to understand. It is present in all cells, but its expression in on a particular kind of tissue. ठीक है. ये पूरा सेल में इसका इंफॉर्मेशन है, लेकिन इसका जो इफेक्ट है एक पर्टिकुलर ब्रेस्ट टिश्यू पे ही दिखता है. Anyway, now this is a program kind of thing. You can call it as a program, BRCA program. Now, if this program is without any error, it is excellent. It is good. Now, therefore, it is a error-free program, and this is a reference program. ठीक है. तो but all individuals do not necessarily acquire this particular error-free program. उसको चालू रखिए मैडम. So if anybody has underwent some kind of abnormality in the gene, they will not able to acquire this particular kind of story. But those people who are having no cases of breast cancer till now, they are definitely having this kind of sequence of the gene. ठीक है. So it's a large amount of data. If you can see the time when it was being deposited and so many informations are given here. But we are interested only in the sequence, no? So we will convert this whole data into more usable form of data by clicking on the link called FASTA. So please see, coordinator madam, there is a blue color this thing, FASTA, if you can see. FASTA in the screen on top. जो BRCA1 उसके नीचे देखिए ब्लू कलर का FASTA बोल के है फास्टा. हाँ इसको क्लिक कर दीजिए. So participants can also click on it. So what it will do is it will do some kind of noise reduction. बहुत सारा इंफॉर्मेशन छोड़ देगा और जस्ट एक आपको स्ट्रिंग्स ऑफ डिजिट्स दे देगा. देखिए स्ट्रिंग्स ऑफ डिजिट्स. ठीक है. तो ये वाला जो डिजिट है, ये जो वाला जो स्ट्रिंग है, इसको हम जीनोम सीक्वेंस बोलते हैं. ठीक है. नाउ दिस इज अगेन कोडेड, so I will not make it more complicated. I have told you about ATGC in the video also. You saw that there are 4 kinds of digits ATGC, but here you cannot see ATGC because it has been recoded into something else which is called amino acids. So आप उसको छोड़ दीजिए. You just remember that this is a code for normal BRCA program. ठीक है. अगर इसमें कुछ abnormality होता है तो it will result into some cancer. Which cancer? Breast cancer specifically. कुछ और भी नहीं, सिर्फ ब्रेस्ट कैंसर का रीजन होगा. एनी काइंड ऑफ म्यूटेशन इन दिस. सो एवरीबडी, इवन कंप्यूटर साइंस पीपल आर वेरी मच अवेयर ऑफ द टर्मिनोलॉजी म्यूटेशन ड्यू टू दिस पेंडेमिक. ठीक है ना. सो पहले म्यूटेशन जो हुआ वो अल्फा चेन हुआ, देन सिंगापुर वेरिएंट एंड सो ऑन, एंड नाउ इट इज ओमिक्रॉन. नाउ दीज आर ऑल व्हाट? दीज आर ऑल वेरिएशंस ऑफ द सेम जीन. द जीन इज COVID-19 ओनली, बट देयर हैज बीन सम एरर्स. सो एरर का कुछ एडवांटेज है. वो एडवांटेज क्या है? वो वैक्सीन से काम नहीं बनता है, वैक्सीन से वो कंट्रोल नहीं होता है. दिस इज द एडवांटेज, एंड देयरफॉर द एरर्स हैज बीन नॉट बैड बट गुड फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर वायरस. ठीक है. बट इन दिस केस इफ देयर इज सम एरर, it is devastating for the person. So we shall find out how distributed computing efforts can help us to find out eventuality of a disease on the basis of genomic sequence. Okay. So what we will do is now we'll click on the third link. If you can see it, the Harvard Genome. Now this is the link of the toolbox. Now it's a toolbox which runs on Grid Computer Network of Harvard University. But you will able to handle this toolbox right from your home. Okay. So it's a kind of server-based technology where the computation and everything will be taking place in the grid of this Harvard, but you will get result in your local thing. So the advantage is you need not to download the program, and therefore the local computational resources need not to be used. In a remote way, you will do it, and eventually, like a internet, the email server, the data will be processed and given to you. So इसको हम आज देखेंगे कि how this cancer diagnosis can help. Okay, madam. So, madam, we will go to the second this thing, what do you call screen, where there was the BRCA code. BRCA code में चले जाएंगे, madam. क्लिक करके ऑफ नहीं करेंगे, उसको भी रहने देंगे. हाँ, अभी मैडम क्या करेंगे? फास्टा करेंगे मैडम, फास्टा वाला कर दीजिए. Okay. No, whole email, if you have forwarded, it will be confusing. Only the sharing by chat box only, it would have been sufficient. The whole email, since you have forwarded.
I have shared.
The whole email you have shared, madam, with the participants? Anyway, no problem. So, madam, so what we'll do is, we'll go to the, हाँ, ठीक. तो अभी क्या करेंगे मैडम, इसको पूरा कॉपी कर लेंगे. We will do the full copy of the code from the greater than sign. देखिए इसमें greater than sign एक है, उसके बाद एक न्यूमेरिकल है, उसके बाद पूरा सीक्वेंस है, उसको थोड़ा कॉपी कर लीजिए मैडम कर्सर से.
Which one?
हाँ, in this page there is a greater than sign. From that greater than sign, you copy the whole sequence, madam.
This one.
From the greater than sign, including the greater than sign, madam.
Okay, and paste it in the next window. That toolbox we opened, no, उसमें paste कर दिए, copy कर लीजिए. हाँ, so we'll go to the toolbox window. Participants, you can also do if you like to, and see how cancer diagnosis takes place these days by computational tools. So we had one more window, no, of the toolbox.
On which one, sir?
वो जो आपने और एक टूल बॉक्स अभी निकाला था हार्वर्ड जेनेटिक्स बोल के, वो थर्ड वाला लिंक सिमुलेशन 3 मैडम. हाँ, ये वाला इसमें देखिए सेकंड जो विंडो है, इन द सेकंड विंडो प्लीज पेस्ट इट मैडम. राइट, या हियर इटसेल्फ यू पेस्ट इट. ओके, फाइन. सो व्हाट वी हैव डन राइट नाउ इज we have taken the reference genome or reference sequence of BRCA which causes breast cancer if it gets mutated. ठीक है, this is the unmutated version. So what has happened? This is the complete this thing, this unaltered sequence. Okay, so it will not cause any cancer, that is for sure. So what we will do is we will simulate a mutation. ठीक है, उसका स्ट्रक्चर को हम चेंज करेंगे और ये टूल बॉक्स से हम जान पाएंगे वेदर it is good or bad. This particular mutation is good or bad. So how exactly we will do this? So we will do a simulation like this. So we will come to the next this thing which is called position. Madam, if you come down, you will see a position. Now here we will put digit 6. Okay. Now what we are trying to do is, if you see the sequence, no, the participants, please, if you want to see, this is starts with EKDR, isn't it? Codes of particular amino acids. Okay. Now amino acids are nothing but monomers which will produce proteins. Now this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Sixth amino acid is M, isn't it? देखिए M. So what we will do is we will change this M into something else. ठीक है? So why you have taken sixth amino acid? Because we know if there is a mutation on the sixth position of the code, it results into cancer. ठीक है? So this is our previous information. We are not doing any in this thing new diagnosis, but we know that it will lead to cancer. So we will see what exactly happens. Can this particular toolbox able to predict that it will cause cancer? We will just see. So what has happened on the digit M, we will change. So on the sixth digit we have written 6 position, and then we will come to substitution. Substitution में देखिए AA1 बोल के है. In AA1 what we will do is we will select M. It starts with A, R, N, D, C, like this. If you go, madam, I think after K you will find M. Have you found, madam? M. थोड़ा सा आगे जाइए, ऊपर वाला. Okay, you please click on this. So this is amino acid sequence that we have selected, and we are going to mutate it with something else. What we will do is we will mutate with like any of them. If there is a change, it will be it will definitely cause the cancer. So what we'll do is we will change it by D. So madam, please click on D in the second row. D is aspartic acid, again amino acid. So what exactly we have done in a very small space, we have changed the unmutated version of the gene into a mutation. So instead of M in the sixth position, we have added D. Now this we are simulating the case of a patient who have underwent the gene sequence of BRCA, and we found that instead of M there is a digit D. Okay, now how we have determined that digit D is there? Because we did whole genome sequencing. I have shown you one slide how we do whole genome sequencing. From that we found it. Okay, so now we will run the query. So madam, नीचे देखिए submit query का बटन है, तो इसमें we'll click. It's a very simple tool. Okay, so we have entered into the grid gateway interface of Harvard, and we will see the results. Okay, so अभी देखिए इसमें क्या होता है, उसका जो लोड है लाइट है, क्योंकि बहुत सारा लोग एक साथ नहीं कर रहा है. लेकिन after 5 minutes, no, all the participants like 10-20 are there. If all of them are using it, okay, so what will happen? The load will increase, because it's a high order server, so it can take a huge load. Like if 1000 people are running the same tool right now, then also the load will be light only. Okay, it's very rare that so many industry or so many people are using it. Usually it remains light only. So 9 jobs are running. I think 9 students or 9 participants have submitted it. So what has happened? There is a queue. So we will try to refresh it. So madam, once if you refresh, there is a refresh button. इसी में कीजिए ऐसे, वो विंडो में मत कीजिए. हाँ. So what has happened? We will see the results. So results में देखिए view का एक बटन एक्टिव हो गया है. So उसमें हम क्लिक करेंगे. हाँ. So it will give us a idea what exactly happened. Okay, see. Now this has happened. What? It has given us as I have said, the tool or the algorithm these people have used is called Naive Bayes algorithm, which is what do you call it? Probabilistic classifier, a statistical tool written as a computer code, which will try to figure out a solution on the basis of the a data set or training set. So they have also mentioned about the training set. If you can see on the top, you will see WHESS.db. Now that is the database which houses, if एकदम top में अगर आप देखेंगे तो वहाँ पे एक window होगा जहाँ पे लिखा है WHESS.db. Now that is the training set that these people have used. So we are not going to check it. We will just talk about the results. Now what is the, give you a probability. Okay, now देखिए, so they have said that imaging. So there is a high probability that it will cause a cancer if it remains there. Okay, and which kind of cancer? It most probably it will be a malignant cancer, जहाँ पे आपको केमो देना पड़े, जहाँ पे आपको रेडिएशन देना पड़े, and eventually the people may also die. Understood? Now, this whole simulation was a true story of a person called Angelina Jolie. I think most of you will be knowing her. She is a very famous personality, very talented one. So she houses this mutation, and all her maternal aunt and even her mother has also been died due to breast cancer. So what she has done is she has got rid of her tissue completely and now uses a prosthesis because she is an actress. So what has happened? This is the case of a particular this thing where the sixth amino acid mutation was there and which eventually leads to this thing. So क्या हुआ यहाँ पे आपका biopsy कुछ भी नहीं हुआ because she might not have entered into a phase where it will initiate the process of cancer, but eventually she'll definitely get it because her mother and maternal mothers all have succumbed to death due to this. So this is how these people have devised this strategy. So if you have the whole genome sequence, you can just find it out whether this will lead to some kind of abnormality or not. Okay, so it is an effort which has been for cancer. So some people else can also design something similar which will give results for some other kind of disease, isn't it? So in this way, what will happen is eventually you can find out much more many solutions by using this what do you call is kind of technology you are working on. So by saying so, this was the part of the this thing I wanted to share with you and how these computational technologies are being used for biomedical sciences. I wanted to share, and then I'll now get back to the last part of my PPT. Thank you for sharing, madam. I'll now just start sharing my this thing. So if you are interested, you can definitely have a look and try to figure out how your efforts can bring about significant change in this particular domain. So what has happened in our case, in our lab, we eventually used these tools for many other purposes, and there has been some good results also. For example, Okay, for example, this in 2014-15, I think, we were given a task to predict the case of so inborn errors of patients with heart abnormality. So we found out that there was a massive alteration in the structure of a particular protein, which results into abnormality of heart, and eventually people succumb to death. So we received a little funding, and then by using computational tools, we were able to predict the cause of the disease and eventually reported it. But later on, while using many computational tools, we found out that a single tool is not enough to answer multiple queries, and eventually we have prepared our own method by a little collaboration with various kinds of domains, and eventually submitted our first patent in 2020-21. And we are also talking to people of many MSME and some smaller industries to monetize our product, and we are also hopeful that eventually we will able to do it. So this is how we are trying to put effort by using multiple types of applications, including computer science, for biomedical technologies and devices. So by saying so, I'd like to conclude my session. And if there are some questions from the participants, I'll be happy to. I'll try to at least this thing, or do you call, answer them. Madam, thank you for your excellent coordination.
Yeah,
Of this
thank you,
particular
sir.
session. So if there are some queries, I will be happy if there are some. And one more objective of this discussion was to collaborate with like-minded various fields of in biomedical discipline.
we are for collaborations as such.
Okay, sir, thank you for the
Okay.
enriching session.
Yes.
Uh, I hope the topics discussed in the session helps the participants in their research, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, so our first day of the 5 days workshop ends here. If you have any queries, you can post it in the WhatsApp group, or you can mail us on the manit.fdp@gmail. And also, we shall upload the recordings of the everyday session on YouTube, and the link will be shared with you via the registered email and also on the WhatsApp. Thank you.